Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I wanted to talk about becoming a police officer later in life and just kind of my thoughts on it, because I became a police officer when I was very young, not later in life. However, there are several things I can think of, and also after consulting with some of my friends who did choose law enforcement later in life. So I'm just gonna be talking to you about what it is that they said and how they felt, and also the different things that I thought of immediately right off the bat. One of the things that I thought of was how physically strenuous and intense the police academy was, especially for me, but it is for a lot of people as well, and how I definitely feel that I am very fit and I do different things in my life as great ways to stay in shape. However, there is so much that I feel happens to your body, I would even say trauma to your body over the years, that definitely gives you just little aches and pains that make things not feel so great. I know that personally for me, there have been so many things that have been really hard on my body. Having my children, being in car wrecks, most of which were on duty, having surgeries, having different health things happening. Just, I feel like the older you are, the more trauma that is possible to your body, I guess is how I would put it. So while you're fine and you probably still work out, do physical therapy, again, all your great ways to stay in shape, you'll still have aches and pains and different things that are going to impact your physical performance. Now, if somebody told me I had to do a police academy today, I know that I could do it, but I would not choose to go out of my way to do it because I feel like that would be very hard on my body at this point with everything that's happened to it and, you know, how I feel. But also with that, I think, you know, my husband, who's in his 50s, who's retired from fire, I think he would whiz through any academy and it wouldn't be any kind of a problem or issue. So I think it just depends on the person, but that is one thing I immediately think of when people say, I want to be a police officer later in life. I just think about how these different physical activities and the strain it puts on your body might be harder later in your life. I also, before becoming a police officer, was a probation officer, and we had a probation officer in our office who was retiring, and he was, I think he was 55. He was in his 50s and he was going to Phoenix to be a police officer, and he did, and he went and he did the academy, and then I don't know how long he ended up, you know, doing that work, but it's something that he did and completed, and he was fine. So it just depends on your ability, especially with whatever your different ages. I think it could be a great benefit becoming a police officer later in life too, because you've probably had more jobs, more work experience, you've interacted with more people in general, and then also having more life experience. It may make you more sympathetic or empathetic to people that you are working with, not only other officers, but also people that you meet on calls and when you're doing your police work. So I think that could definitely be a great benefit, especially if you are applying in an agency where they can be more selective with who they're hiring. I think that having that additional experience or life experience could be a positive thing for you. When I was an intern in a police department in college, we had an officer who was hired, I think he was in his 30s or 40s, and we were just chatting one day, and I asked him what he did before, and he was actually a teacher, and he just said that he wanted to do something different and have a change in his career. I also have a coworker now who was an attorney before he became a police officer. Some people just become police officers later in life, and that's something that they want to do, and it can be something great for them. I also wanted to add that with the police academy, with the different physical strain that you're going to put on your body, there may not be anybody involved in that academy that has any actual education or like working knowledge of physical things for the body, whether that's physical therapy, kinesiology, anything like that. I feel like many of these people have really good intentions of helping people or trying to help people, but don't actually have the background knowledge of what is actually good for somebody based on their physical body condition. There's nothing wrong with people trying to help others out, but there are times, and I talk about it in my different videos, where I feel like you should really consult with a doctor or a physical therapist to get more of an expert take on what they should be doing as far as physical activities, especially when you may be dealing with or discussing having prior injuries. I think it would be very valuable for people to request opinions from actual experts who are are doctors or physical therapists. I think they are doctors of physical therapy or kinesiologists, somebody within that realm who actually has the expertise of your body and what's happening with your body if you're looking at prior injuries or something like that as well. Just an example too, my husband participated in a really physically intense firefighter training program. Every morning in that program, the participants had to have their urine tested to make sure that they were even properly hydrated to go through the physical things they were going to do that day. So I think that oversight of making sure that people are okay physically is something that can be really helpful. I mention that because that's not something I'd ever heard of in police training, but something they took really seriously. You may or may not have these different kind of safeguards in your physical training or built into it, but I don't think that it could hurt to, again, pursue some actual expert medical advice. Not to say that these people asking these questions have any kind of physical issues. Maybe you don't, but I'm just saying to be safe. One thing that I found really annoying when I was first hired to my agency, being younger, was that everyone would be telling me, oh, you're a baby. And while I hadn't done different things within my personal life, I had done quite a bit professionally. I had worked in a halfway house with people coming out of prison. I had been a probation officer, and I had already worked for years with a police department. And so I thought I had a very good basis in knowledge, and it was just interesting to me how people immediately judged me based on my age and that I was young. And I will say though, as I have gotten older and matured, that I really enjoy who I am now much more than previously in life, as well as just enjoying life more now in general. I know too that we just view things differently as more aged adults and as we experience more in life. And I think that is a great thing for somebody to offer as a police officer. I've talked about this in other videos too, but I just feel if you really have that desire to become a police officer and I mean, the way that some of you guys write this, I can tell you just need to do it. And I don't want to be the one to make you have trouble with your family or anything like that, but if it's something you want to do, just do it and try it. And like all these other things that we do in life, if it's not gonna happen or it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out, but at least you tried. And if it's something that's not gonna happen for you, let somebody else tell you no. Don't tell yourself no, and just try. You may be able to do it, you may not. I know that law enforcement is something that people really have a calling for and really feel like deep down in their heart, although some people also just become police officers because they want a job or need a job. There's all kinds of folks, you know, who become the police, but at the same time, if this is something you really want to do, who cares how old you are? If you're capable of doing it, and if you've got that passion and desire, I think you should just go for it and do it. I hope this video was helpful for you guys who have asked me some different questions about that, and I'm starting to get that more and more, so maybe because I'm getting older and people think maybe I just became a police officer, I don't know. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. As always, y'all stay safe out there, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. But it's like especially when you're talking to mature adults,